You're watching Talking About Orks. In this episode of Talking About Orks, we're going to be going over the Warbuggies. Warbuggies are fast, open-topped vehicles and come stock with a twin-linked big shooter and with 10 armor all around. Very similar to the truck in that regards. You can take them in a squadron from 1 to 3, and they are super cheap, starting in at 30 points. You can upgrade the weapons to twin-link rockets or scorches, and you give them other options. The red plates, grot riggers, armor plates, red paint job. Did I say armor plates twice? Or you can upgrade them to a war track, and a war track gives you the re-rolls on dangerous terrain tests. Warbuggies are, in my opinion, one of the worst things in the Ork Codex. I find them to be virtually useless. If you do take them in squadrons, these squadron rolls actually hurt these buggies more than probably anything else because of their low armor. They're just going to get immobilized from glances very easily. Combined with their open-topped, they're just too easy to immobilize. So in a squadron, they're really going to be susceptible to being blown up. So that makes them even more useless. Being open-topped and armor 10, they are susceptible to all small arms fire, short of las guns. Anything except las guns, of course. And generally speaking, if someone shoots at them, they will just simply blow up. I've tried them in many configurations. I've tried them in 1 vehicles, 3 vehicles, and I've basically given up on trying to make them points effective or even effective at all. The last hurrah for me on the Warbuggies was I took a squadron of 3 under the KFF against another Ork player with big shooters, just absolutely bare bones, cheap as possible, and they basically did nothing against another Ork player. And then they got in range of the opponent's shooters, and they just all blew up in 1 turn, and that was the last time I ever fielded a Warbuggy. Not to mention the model itself the models are just horrible. This track isn't so bad, but the other buggies, the regular buggies, are just horrible models that are in desperate need of replacement. There were some rumors that there was going to be a replacement buggy out this fall, but unfortunately it has not come to pass. So if you do want to try and run buggies, there's 2 things I would recommend. One is take the lone Scorcher track. So try and run it up in cover, move fast in cover, just sneak around, even completely out of line of sight, and get up and flame something once, and then you'll just die. The other way I said is the full squadron of 3 with your preference of weapons, either big shooters or rockets, and try and slink around at maximum range to stay out of the bolters and heavy, stay out of the bolters range or whatever you can do to try to avoid being shot at. But that's really all there is about buggies. They're just horrible as far as I'm concerned. They're one of the worst units in the Codex as far as effectiveness. Even for their cheap points, they're just not worth it. I think for every buggy you could take, 5 more boyz, and 5 more boyz is going to do a whole lot more damage than a single twin-link big shooter Warbuggy, and probably last a lot longer too. So Warbuggies, skip them. They're just not worth it.